I know I'm probably speaking for Carlos in this sense, but whenever we see somebody saying, "Oh, we're doing racing," it's like you're not. But like what you're doing is still dope. Like you're still driving a car to whether it's the driver's limits, whether it's the car's limits, out on the racetrack. That's dope.
Green flag.
Welcome to the Blind Apex Podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
This episode is brought to you by Deechworks Fuel Systems. Visit deechworks.com for all your fuel system needs. I'm your host, John Turk, and on this episode of the Blind Apex Podcast, we're going to talk a little time trials versus wheel-to-wheel racing and maybe beat up on Sundae Cup. Maybe. I will warn you, we've warmed up for about half an hour. It might get a little spicy. Since you guys know I'm a time trial hater, I needed to balance the conversation. We have two returning guests, both from the West Coast. One is a part-time podcaster, even probably not lately, but at the time of recording, he hasn't podcasted much. The other is a wheelman for hire. Both are part of the Rye Action team. Carlos and Jaime, welcome back to the podcast, boys.
What's up, Con? Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Con.
Jaime, why haven't you put out a podcast at this point in like 2 weeks?
I think it hasn't been 2 weeks. I mean, the last one I did was Carlos, and that was an hour and a half. And I know a lot of people complain whenever I go over 40 minutes. So,
by the way, he forced me into that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
At gunpoint.
Yeah, I gave him the Irish goodbye at freaking Laguna, and then we had like just been sharing dumb memes since then, but we didn't even get a chance to like actually catch up on our thoughts on Laguna.
Yeah, and he came back and gave me like a Genghis Khan welcome. Came in and conquered. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I'm in the middle of working right now.
So, yeah. Jaime, what's the current status of your Sundae Cup car, Project Togepi?
Mm-hmm. So the car right now is the plan is to take the engine out of my hatch, which was essentially the H4 build, since it's literally chilling, and it's an H4 build, so it's gonna pass smog. It originally did pass smog when I was driving it to the track.
My H4 builds never pass smog.
So that one's gonna go in the car just so that I can move and drive it, so that I don't have to pay the GX 470 tax, because that thing gives me 11 miles to the gallon on the street.
But your commute's 5 miles away.
Yeah, but the thing that sucks is that it's super hilly where I'm at. So, like, man, like, it still takes me 25 to 30 minutes sometimes to get to and from work, because I'm at a bottleneck. Like, right where I'm at is where all of the LA people, or rather the Lancaster, Palmdale people, drive from LA back over. So that's what the plan is. So far, up until now, I've been able to assess a little bit more of the rod that eat itself outside of the block, and it looks like it's all contained to the low end of the block. So the head, I think, is salvageable. The transmission, which was originally the thing that I was worried about, fared perfectly well. So that was the one that I was worried about, but it was fine.
Sweet. Carlos, the last time we talked, you were playing with Porsches. What have you been doing since then, really?
So we parked the Porsche for a few months. Nothing wrong with the car. It's just I got really caught up with work. Steve, who owns the whole thing, he's a contractor, and he landed some pretty fat contracts, and was telling me, like, dude, it would just cost me so much money to take time off right now. He says, I can't pass this work up. So I said, yeah, just do your thing. I got to do my thing. And then we're probably going testing with that pretty soon. And I know we're racing in December, January, February. We have races for that car. So
Mhm.
yeah, well, that's coming back. Reaction has
Mhm.
kept me pretty busy with
Yeah.
their stuff. I was in Mexico racing. I did an enduro down there. Going back to Mexico next month for some sprint racing in a Honda. Reaction's got like 1 million cars, so got that going. I bought another shifter car, so that's incoming, and I'll be taking that out soon.
Always
So,
busy and always
Yeah.
with a different set of wheels in your hands, it
Yeah.
seems like.
Yeah.
I'm dude at work. I drive all day. I work at the proving grounds now. I'm literally
Right.
driving all day.
Some people would complain about it, and then other people would enjoy it. So I guess you're going to try to find your enjoyment out of this.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I love what I do. I never complain about going to work, but I get to work sometimes and talk to the other people, and they're miserable about it. And I'm like, dude, you get to drive at a racetrack every day. The fuck are you
Right.
complaining about? But some people are miserable about
True.
it.
True.
Yeah, I mean, some people sign up for like specific things that they want to do, and sometimes fall into different roles. So I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they didn't sign up for it.
Yeah,
It was the only
maybe.
job they could get. But
So that kind of brings us up into like a little bit of a topic that you wanted to talk about in terms of things that people
Right.
like and don't like, which is you famously have talked about time trial in the NASA organization as being qualifying, and that you like to continue to go on beyond qualifying. So yeah,
Okay. So I don't know where to start with this, to be honest, because there's in the internet world, which we all know everything's perfect on the internet, right? There's no arguments on the internet, none of that stuff.
Right.
They're like, oh, time trials is one thing, time attack is another thing. But I see you guys in that realm call your cars race cars. And I believe that is not true. And then they go, I'm going racing. And when I'm one of the haters, I'm the old guy, get off my lawn kind of thing. You don't have a logbook, you don't have a cage, from even the HPDE kids, this stuff drives me nuts when they're like, I'm going racing. You're not.
Yeah.
And don't say that too loud, especially if you're trying to get your car covered by an insurance company. But so there's a difference.
Or your life insurance, dude.
Yeah.
Your life insurance and your health care, if they find out you're racing.
Maybe I should make some adjustments.
No,
and on our last episode, final episode.
But
coming back from the abrupt break that we took right now, no, this is actually like a literal conversation me and Carlos were having while we were, I think I was talking to Miguel, who was doing the media for Reaction.
We were harassing our cameraman.
Yeah, like we literally were talking about this specific topic because, like, I mean, I know I'm probably speaking for Carlos in this sense, but whenever we see somebody saying, "Oh, we're doing racing," it's like you're not, but like what you're doing is still dope. Like you're still driving a car to, whether it's the driver's limits, whether it's the car's limits, out on the racetrack. That's dope. Like, how many times do you have a conversation with someone who is not involved in the racing community in any way, shape, or form, or in the automotive enthusiast community, and you tell them, "Yeah, I go to a racetrack," and they're like, "Wow, that's lame." Like that never happens. So it's like you don't need to like front in a way. Like you do time attack, that's dope. You do time trials, that's dope. Like you don't have to say it's racing, but I think it's more of people not knowing that there's a difference there, rather than fronting more. I think in instances,
to me, it's competition in a vehicle, right? I'm not denying that. I'm just saying it's not racing. But what I see as racing is wheel to wheel, side by side. They call it drag racing. Rarely it happens. Rarely are you drag racing without somebody next to you, right? Because even in bracket racing, there's things people do to each other driving side by side to get into the other person's head, right? And to me,
Right.
I'll be honest, I've never done a time trial or time attack. I don't even, they're the one and the same to me, even though I hear the internet says they're different. It's the same competition against the clock, right? But to me,
Right.
It's just qualifying. I compete against the clock during qualifying, and then I come in and I go racing, right? That's how I see it. But
yeah, I agree. I think I don't want to speak for Carlos on this because he's someone who I think has I think more experience in time attack in wheel to wheel more than I think you and I. So I'll let
that. Well, I started in wheel to wheel racing, go karts, and then full size cars. I never really had an interest in time trial or time attack, just because, not that I didn't think it was cool. It's just that I looked at my entry fee. And I looked at the amount of time on track I was going to get, and wheel to wheel racing just gave me more track time. And literally that's what was driving my choices. So I raced wheel to wheel for many years, and then opportunities came up to do time attack stuff, and I was open to it. I was like, oh, let me check this out. And like Con, in the back of my head, I was like, I only have to qualify. And it's, yeah, yes and no. But then I learned that it is a little different. Like, for one, the setup is completely different. Like, we could talk Honda Challenge at least when we set up our Honda Challenge cars, it's a 35-minute or 45-minute race, and we set the car up so that it's optimal, maybe mid to 2/3 of that race. And at the beginning of the race, it's a little outside of optimal. Maybe at the end of the race, it's a little outside of optimal. And so the way that you set up the car is very different. Where a time attack car, that thing is a freaking hand grenade. The minute you go out, the tires light up right away. The engine, you might have a couple of laps before that thing grenades. Like, everything is at its peak. And as a driver, dude, you can't make mistakes. Like, when you race, you're making mistakes during the race because you're dicing and you're moving and your field of vision changes with the cars in front and behind. And so you're always making mistakes, little mistakes, and you try to make less of them, and how you come back from those mistakes, the whole part of the racecraft. But dude, in time attack, you can't. Like, that car's not going to be there for the next session, maybe. So you got to make it happen. So it's like a different pressure that's on you. You drive different. Like, you're willing to cut the curbing a little more. You're willing to abuse the car more. You just drive the cars a lot harder because they don't have to survive 45 minutes. You beat the absolute shit out of them for that one lap. And I enjoy it. It's not for everyone. I dig driving it. Two different subcultures, completely different subcultures. Right. They rarely ever mix. Like, the people in time attack will forever do that shit, and the people in wheel to wheel racing will forever do that. They hardly ever mix. Yeah, they're different. Are they racing? Are they race cars? Some time attack cars are. Some of them have the full safety kit because they're gonna hurt you. Some of them are not. Like, some of the time attack cars that I've driven are so fucking dangerous. No roll cage, tons of horsepower. Sketchy machines that I've driven in time attack. And to be honest with you, it's kind of the draw of it. It's like old school dangerous, fucking going fast. So I dig it. Some people will look at the cars that I drive sometimes and puke and go, dude, you're gonna get killed in that thing. But I don't know, to me it's attractive.
Yeah, it's kind of like a parallel between kind of like the grassroots drifting community and time attack. I feel like they have a lot of overlay between each other, because you see some ratchet builds in some of the drifting community where you're like, wow, you don't have anything on this? It's
they're fast and they're not safe. And you don't have to have a fire suit either. You do whatever you want.
Oh yeah,
so it's kind of old school, like old school racing in that sense. It's not for everyone.
I'll send you some pictures, Con, of people out in a V8 swapped like 350Z with nothing but shorts and a tank top, like just driving out in the desert with no roll cage. It's wild.
So, but okay. So at the same time, I've seen top tier. I Instagram everything. If it's a fast anything, I don't care what class or discipline it's going to be in. I'm following it. I'm trying to get on that, right? But you'll see fast time attack, and eventually I want to get into the differences between time attack and time trial, although it's basically the same, and it's cultural, but so we'll get there. But you will see full carbon fiber bodies on these things, right? You will see twin turbo V8s. You will see wings with wings on top, with winglets on the outside, all this stuff. And you look inside, and it might have a fixed back seat in it. But that's it.
And a 4-point harness. And a 4-point harness.
You'll be lucky if it has a 3-point harness in it still. You'll be lucky if it's bolted down correctly. But from the outside, that thing looks like a mean machine. But as soon as you peek inside, it looks like death to me anyway. But
to all of us.
Well, not to them. They enjoy that stuff.
Well, I mean, to all of us on this call.
But I think
that's a thing.
Go ahead.
Well, not to step over you, but it's a thing for us here in SoCal. You in the East Coast, I wonder, because me and Carlos have had this conversation back and forth about, how the majority of cars that go to the track here are time attack, and it's not even close. Time attack versus wheel to wheel. Like, for every wheel to wheel car, you have at least 10 time attack cars.
Yeah,
is that the same ratio for you over in the East Coast?
Because it feels for us, from a distance, it seems like people on the East Coast are way more into wheel to wheel racing, which I'm about. I'm over here.
So in the NASA families, I think they're 1-to-1 because you just see big time trial groups.
Wow.
And I can tell you this year, as the economy's sort of taken its toll on certain things, people's wallets, and as we were talking about earlier, credit scores. It's definitely close to 1-to-1 at this last year. Before, I would say at like a 3 racers to 1 time trialer, but it started to expand.
Okay.
And there's racers who have, they've picked up a fun street car, and now they're like, well, there's nobody racing in my class, or it's not big enough, or I'm not going to take this year too seriously. I'm an instructor. Let me time trial my street car and instruct, and so that it's morphing a lot out here.
That was our topic, right, Jaime? Is the cost of living in California is so high. Property sizes. I mean, you've seen where I live, dude. I can't have a car here. That's why I have to have a shop. It's harder to race out here, like financially. It's just harder. But it seems like it's catching up with the East Coast. Where,
it's
just getting really expensive.
It's just really weird, and I don't know if there is like a one thing that makes it different, because I don't know about you, Carlos, but hearing that there's like 3 wheel-to-wheel racers per time attack driver, I'm like, wow, that's insane. Because if we had that ratio here, I mean, dude, it would be wild. It would, like that would change a lot.
Another thing is that at least the younger people that I talk to at the track, a lot of them are interested in wheel-to-wheel racing, but they're still young. Some of them are fresh out of college or in college, and so it's not in the cards for them yet. But maybe in the future, it's there for them. And the time trial, time attack community out here makes it really easy for them to get their foot in the door.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone back and forth about the cost of a normal weekend or even an HPDE day between SoCal and East Coast. Is the topic that's been heavily
Yeah.
covered.
On Race FF,
But
when he ever puts
yeah,
another episode out, listen to it.
thank you.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
When you look at the tiers of vehicles out there, and I'm
Mhm.
Time Attack is sort of like the performance touring kind of super touring for NASA thing, where like I had an episode on that, and I was like, every super touring car I see is somebody who couldn't get rid of their college car, so they bought a new real car when they finally got a real job, and they were like, you know what, that old 350Z, that'll make a nice time trial car, or that'll make a nice super touring car or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all
Correct.
the misfits.
It is. It's but to me, the price of building a high end or a premium mid tier time trial car is no more expensive than building a decent road race car.
Yeah, I mean, the prices. I mean, you've had this conversation in the past where you were building that, deciding whether or not you were going to build that EM1 or not. And you went with the Ace Gen. You know that you're going to be in the hole for like an H2 car between 15 to 20. Like that's. I mean, Carlos and I have talked about this when I was building my H4 car, but I was dumb because I wanted to drive my car to the racetrack. So yeah, it would have been financially cheaper for me to buy a H4 car that was like milling around, but I wanted somebody or something that I could still drive. And mind you, mine's still registered non.
But I mean,
so
look at what
title.
you've.
I don't think you should be proud of that.
I'm with you. Look at what you've done, Jaime. You have the GX. You rent a trailer, even for the Sundae Cup car. So you went all in after making the decision not to go all in on a car build. That's why this. I don't think you should be putting your H4 engine into a Sundae Cup car, but if you do, the next engine should be built and put into the H4 car that's now going to be whatever it's going to be, right?
And that's the plan.
Well, then I sort of approve of it.
Yeah, like
H4 is dead out here, so I don't blame him for taking that engine out. He can't do anything with the car if it sits.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be it. To build something that's like more along those lines, but like again, if I was building for a specific class to compete in, where I felt like it was worth that kind of investment, then yeah, that would be a stronger argument. But for right now, Sundae Cup's fun. Is I get to go hang out with Carlos, a lot of freaking people out there, and I have the spare parts and the equipment to keep that kind of program running, at least for right now. So yeah, like I don't know. At least for me right now, this is what kind of makes sense. I could be right, I could be wrong on it, but yeah.
Okay, so I have a slightly different topic,
but on
topic. When I was younger, I thought I was cooler because I raced wheel to wheel and I wasn't in time trial. I skipped the whole time trial thing and just went straight to wheel to wheel racing. And
you're more cool for that, cooler. I promise.
That is pretty cool.
I'm wrong. I was wrong for that. For one, that's hater talk. I was a douchebag for that, but I've fixed the error of my ways. Some of them, at least.
Some of them.
So I met this dude out here, French guy, and he's a former world rally driver. And I was talking to him about rallying and his days in rallying. He rallied in the 80s. He drove for Renault.
Oh, shit.
And he was just telling me, like, how neat it is to be on track without distractions and just harnessing your focus on that apex, just that moment, and there's no distractions. And and the mental energy it takes to extract everything out of the vehicle, and why he loved rallying so much, and why now he just does time trials because it reminds him of stage rallying. He wasn't interested in racing. He just wanted to just maximum attack every lap. That was his thing. And when I got his perspective on that and started trying it for myself, I'm like, man, this is actually really fucking hard to just maximize everything out of that one lap. And I see why he time trials. I see, I see his point. And then if rallying is racing, then why is time trial and time attack not racing?
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a good point. That's a good point, because I've done it independently of rallying, because I don't think anybody would argue that rallying is in any way. Ah, man, that's a good one.
Okay.
Go, Con.
So
handle it.
the thing with rally is, in my opinion, is that they stagger the starts, but they do not stagger. They stagger the starts in stage one, but they don't stagger the starts in the more than what you've been able to make up. So at the end, in the later stages, you actually have passing, and you have cars that are going to compete with each other, literally wheel to wheel, on these little single roads. Yeah, I got nothing for the those. Every time I watch rally stuff where they're like they banging gears, bap 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 bap, and they're like turning the wheel, but the road is sort of seems straight. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? The trees,
The trees are flying like 100 miles an hour. You're like, I weigh about 15. What are we at? 2,500 pounds, making this much horsepower, and there's a solid object flying at me, and you're just like clipping it. Like, yeah, no, I think that's badass. But I think it goes back to what Carlos was saying, is that, I think time trial is dope. Like, I think it's like a really cool thing to do. And I don't see why it needs to like piggyback off of wheel to wheel racing to be like justified. I think it's dope.
Yeah, same. I think it's awesome as it is. And you don't need to give it anything that it's not, because it's cool on its own.
Yeah, I just... Yeah. In the hierarchy of things, I still
okay, Con. When people come at me with the bullshit all the time, and like I've had people try to engage in arguments with me, which I don't. Fuck them. They try to tell me racing is not a sport. They come at me, so you guys are not athletes, and it's not a sport. And I never argue with them. If you don't think so, that's fine. Is it a sport? I don't fucking care. I love it, and I'm going to keep doing it. You can call it whatever, classify it whatever you want. It doesn't change anything. And it's the same thing with time trials and time attack. If you're digging it, you're enjoying it, I don't give a fuck what you call it. Keep doing it and keep enjoying it.
Exactly. I mean, dude, you and I think all of us here drive front wheel drive.
He drives
Carlos
everything.
Obviously gets the opportunity to drive all these other things. But how many times have you heard, Con, that, FF cars are not real race cars. You can't have a real race car. Why do you have a wing on a front wheel drive? That's stupid.
Yeah.
The tires and this and that. It's like,
that's old thinking. I think.
Oh no! We literally had somebody drive.
Those people are
they're still there.
Yeah, but Con, you live
apparently, yeah, I do. We were paddocked at Virginia International Raceway, and this like lift.
Oh, there you go.
This lifted electric golf cart drives by, and the guy on there said to his passengers, "This is where the poor people paddock."
Was he wrong?
GTS or something like that. So he has no idea. Jaime, if I could build a competitive H2 car for $20,000, I would be happy. It doesn't exist, my man.
I think what was it? Leland was selling that yellow Type R for $20K right now.
Okay, and then so you buy it for $20K. You can race H2. It's yes, like Carlos said, it's going to need a bunch of stuff still. I'm telling you.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm saying like you're not going to get it for under that
never.
price if you try to build it. That's was
Our
trying.
black H4 car, one of the black H4 cars, we bought for $3,200, and we thought, dude, we scored. Like, this is going to be the cheapest H4 car ever. By the time we were done taking parts off the other cars and buying parts for it, I mean, we didn't spend that much because we already had the parts. But if you really sum up everything that went into it, it was another $15,000 car.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we saved because we already had that shit. But for anyone else, it wouldn't have been any cheaper to
Right.
get it to do what it did.
And I think that's where some people are like, oh, time trials, it's going to save me money. I'm telling you, it's not. As soon as you start to go, I'm not settling for fifth place, and I have room in the rules. I found a gray area. I haven't done X. I haven't done Y. The prices of time trial and the price of racing, the only difference, and to be safe, okay, is literally the roll cage. That's the difference.
I think also tires are a big thing in that time trial like eats tires a lot faster because you need the ultimate grip and freshies on there, and with like wheel to wheel you can run like an H2. You can run an if you're not in an 8th gen like you are, because you talked in so much detail about going through tires.
Oh, I fixed that.
The tires last a little bit longer. Oh, I know. And again, that goes back to the cost. You start doing wind tunnel testing and then making carbon parts. So
hey, man, you do what you got to do.
That's why he has the Adrian Newey haircut.
There you go. That makes sense.
That was genetics. I just helped it finish it off.
Yeah. As both being Carlos are
right, full heads of hair. Here I am glistening in the luminance of my office. Yeah.
Well, it's because it's so
we're all headed there.
Well, it's because it's so warm where you are compared to where we are, so we need it.
That's the opposite. It's like
I'm not touching on this.
38 degrees where I am, and I have a bald head, and these guys are full heads of hair in the heat, but they think it's cold at 70 degrees. So,
well, look, if it gets close to under 70, like it's cold. Oh yeah, it's 69 right now. No, it's too cold.
Yeah, I can't go outside.
Yeah, no.
So, but so this sort of, we talked about the time trial life of, we've seen the big bad cars and they have this and they have that, and all competitive motorsports. Carlos, you talked about karting. There's money you can pour into a kart that how many parts are on there?
Oh, dude, it's more expensive. Karting can be more expensive than car racing.
So when you look at it, we're all in this money train, okay? But that's where Sundae Cup comes in and goes, okay, you guys can have brake pads and coilovers, right? Basically, I mean, what else can you guys have?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it boils down to a 25-to-1 horsepower to weight ratio, and I think you get 2% for AA arms. So, like your Civics will take that, and pretty much the class was designed to be spec fit, but then it's opened up from there. But yeah, even with my conversation with Ryan Eversley, he finds it really interesting, and I do too, that you could take kind of like what someone was their beginner car to an HPDE event to make it into something that they could do a competitive driving it, not racing, but competitive driving.
Yeah, but you got rid of a perfectly good 8th gen Civic to then build not a Miata, which is probably what you should have built for that class.
Yeah.
To build your EK, right?
Yeah, the EG sedan that I have is the EG.
Sorry.
Hey, we come correct here, all right? We come correct. I mean, I'm not going to go with the EH.
Oh, don't do that to me.
Or whatever chassis. Yeah, that's too much. But
Dude, I called my friend's GR86 and FRS the eye roll that I got.
Same.
but yeah, I think it really like boils down to, what community do you want to join? I mean, you guys over there in Mid Atlantic, when I went there with Tony and John from 91 Octane, like their first comment coming back was like, yeah, if we were here, we would be running Honda Challenge with you guys because it's such a dope community. And it's really the community that you want to be a part of. And for me, like, I got a chance to kind of talk and mingle with a lot of the grid life community. And, Sundae Cup, I was just like, man, like, I think I can do, I think I could build a better mousetrap or something with an EG sedan. And, we were close, and thanks to Graham Downey, we were like half a second off. But like, dude, even Carlos driving the car, were like, I was super pleasantly surprised that that car was doing as well as it did.
I mean, that's all Jackie's fault, because you called her up and said, what do I need to do? And then you hit up Ryaction and said, this is what my suspension's going to be. Build me something for it. So,
yeah, well, that's all because of Carlos right there, telling them like, yeah, get Jaime on some Ryactions or something. And I'm like, all right, yeah, like they're dope people, and I know they build good stuff, because if Carlos drives them and they don't break, I mean, they're
Thanks, man.
Ultimate test would be to give it to Peterson. If he doesn't break him, then it's like, dude, these are gold standard. These are ready for.
He's gonna break it. It's just the length. It's a durability test. It will break, but it's when does it break? And then you grade it based on that.
The Sundae Cup breaks the mold, right? Old school, the way that I read the internet, old school Japanese time attack was my shop versus your shop. And basically you just limit me by, are we naturally aspirated? Are we turbocharged? Then it sort of evolved into engine sizes, but it was like, run what you brung. And these guys were building gnarly things, right?
Yeah.
The Sundae Cup is not gnarly.
And it's, I think was also ignored, and it's one of the things that I think people like forget about, that is that, as someone who's actually had the fortunate opportunity to be at Suzuka for a time attack event, those cars are freaking amazing. You see like all this carbon and whatever build, like, it's dope, but there's other cars there for that event, and it's not everything is like a full carbon tub thing with like a 4-point harness or a 3-point harness on there. Like, there's other cars out there, and that's kind of how you make an event. You have to have other cars available there, because they're not just renting the entire track to have 4 shops compete. It's like, that's just not a sustainable model.
They're like the feeder series.
Exactly.
Support races. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it just happened that, Grid Life did a good job in promoting their events, and they showed up and said like, hey, we have this A class or whatever, the beginner class, or however you want to set it up. And people look at it and they're like, dude, I know somebody that has that car, and I could drive that and come out here and do well. So they nailed it with that ambition, or that class, and they got me in it. So yeah,
I don't know what Grid Life's goals were with Sundae Cup, but I don't know, they're doing freaking great with it. The way I see it, it's fantastic for getting people in the door and competing, not just turning laps, but competing. And they're at the big show, they're getting used to it. They're seeing, what it's like. They're in the same driver meetings as everyone else, and they're as much of it as anyone else. And I think that's awesome. It's going to change. Sundae Cup isn't going to stay the way that it is. You got, assholes like Jaime already bringing in drivers, reaching out to Ryaction, and you think those other guys aren't going to do the same? They're going to start engineering little parts into their cars, because right now, I mean, Jaime and I worked tech, and tech for GLTC was pretty strict. It was actually pretty
Mhm.
cool to be a part of. It was really neat to see how they go about that. But it seems like Sundae Cup was very lenient,
Mhm.
and that's going to change because as more people start coming in, bigger teams start taking interest. They're going to start doing shenanigans to the cars. It's just the nature of racing, and
Mhm.
it'll change. Like if you're in Sundae Cup now, enjoy it for what it is because it's not going to stay that way. It's going to get more expensive. It's going to evolve.
Mhm.
Unless Grid Life can find a way to do something
Well,
about it. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't.
I think it's
Yeah.
going to take a decade or more for it to really morph into something we don't see because there's plenty of slow cars out there. And
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the thing is that they do really well is that their marketing, and that brings a lot of the like lower slash mid tier quote unquote shops or parts manufacturers, and they go like, oh, I could build that. Like, oh, I can do that. I mean, if I can do that, then there's somebody who's smarter with way more funds than me that's going to be able to do what I can do. So,
but I mean, we
yeah.
already have people that have been in like Club TR and some of the higher classes, higher street classes, step back. I'm air quoting for nobody who can see me but the two guys I'm talking to. To get into that hyper competitive class essentially for time trial, time attack, whatever. So it's I don't know what they still make. Well, they still don't make Honda Fits, but they literally still make these slow commuter cars because that's essentially what's in there, right? Everybody's teeny little commuter box.
As long as it's meeting at least the 25 to 1 horsepower ratio. Um, so yeah, but there are people like I think the guys from Redshift Coilovers had an Ace Gen that they were going to be looking at putting in a Sunday Cup at least for the events that are closer to them. So that's going to be a dialed in suspension for sure. And if they get a hot shoe like Carlos or somebody else, like then that's going to be
Well,
really
so
competitive.
Chris over at Redshift, he's raced an 8th gen SI in the past, and then also now has this. It's a non SI 8th gen that they built. Yeah, so it's the R18 engine to easily fit it without putting, I don't know, thousands of pounds in to try to you detune a K20 Z3 enough to get to 25 to 1, you're gonna have a problem, I think. So yeah, but there's always a mousetrap. But you talked to somebody about it, and they were talking about you should have built a Miata. I mean,
oh, for sure.
So have we seen I'm about to say top tier Sundae Cup car, which seems weird to say. Have we seen somebody with a Miata that's like full out in a Miata build yet?
Yeah, that's current. So as I have my second tab open, the current points leader, and I haven't refreshed this, is a Miata, followed by with 94 points, then followed by I'm going to say it's a Fit, and then Sam Doolin, super cool guy, with 83 points, 91 points, and then the current leader is a Miata.
Okay.
So yeah, there is there, but again, I do the Race FF podcast. I do Wrong Wheel Drive because I like it. I'm dumb for that. Like I should have bought, a true sports car, an MR vehicle, and done like the what people say is the absolute pinnacle racing and do all those things. But I'm dumb, so I like doing these things. I like these cars, and I like working on them. Because of the affordability of it, and it can be competitive, I think. And the Miatas are cool in their own way, but it's just not me. And I think still that my car can be pretty competitive. And I'm gonna.
It was competitive.
Yeah, I mean, if the engine held together for that next lap, I think Graham Downey was gonna put it pretty high up there. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
that thing
already
was
in
only
first.
it was only going up. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was dealing with traffic on that last lap, and dealing with traffic on the two corners where he was dealing with traffic on turn 4, I think it was, and on the corkscrew. Like, yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Like that affects your lap time a lot.
You built an older mousetrap, right?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
the Miatas aren't going to stick around forever. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you see, Carlos? Do you think we can get a S2000 into? How much does the S2000 have to weigh to get into club or into Sundae Cup?
Oh, that's too much. I don't think it would be able to.
I don't think Grid Life would allow it because they do have hard rules like that. Like my friends here in SoCal have a rotary shop, so they as soon as I started doing the Club TR, they hit me up. They said, "Hey, how about we enter our FD that I've driven their FD before?" They said, "How about we enter that in Club TR?" I said, "Oh yeah, we would rock with that car. Go look at the rules. No FDs, just straight flat out said it. No FDs in Club TR because we would fucking annihilate every S2000 with that car. It's not fair. Yeah. It's just not fair."
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there's still rule problems for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That keep it in that scenario, because again, like the people that built the rules are, as Adam would call it, degenerate racers as well. So they already know. They're all like, "Oh no, you open this up." And
as inconvenient as that rule was to me and my friends, I understand.
Yeah, like we would.
Yeah, it's
So
I get it. Yeah.
I realized just this last week they put something out.
Mm-hmm.
The new TT6 record for Virginia International Raceway,
mm-hmm.
which I drive all the time, is a 213.6, I think. Yeah.
What?
That's what I did.
Damn.
And then I immediately sat down with this Garmin and was like, why am I so slow?
So for Carlos, tell him what your lap time is.
It's
VIR.
12:12.9. And this person was 0.7 of a second off of an H2 car and a TT6 car, which is a TT6 Miata. So it's basically like no aero, 205 tires, I think, on it, if I remember correctly, and basically stock. Like there's not much in it. Coilovers and that's about it. And ran a 213.
Well, I mean, it's got like not to limit that, but that thing's got a little bit more juice, because I've seen what lap times are, and a good idea is to see like what the spec Miata lap times are, because they're highly restricted, but they have really good drivers, so you can kind of see the consistency of like what they're. It's a good measuring tool to see like what real speed is a vehicle making there. So I'm curious to see like what the delta is between that TT6 car is and the spec Miata, because if it's going faster, then I'm like, yo, like this is
there's some magic.
There's some magic.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Graham Downey about this, because when it comes to Laguna, like if people don't believe it, like Graham Downey's word is like the Bible there. Like I don't, anybody who disagrees with that man, I'm like, you're not, no, bro. But I asked him like, what are spec Miata times around Laguna Seca? I think he said it was a 148 was like what they were doing, 148, 147. So to see how close the like Sundae Cup cars were to it, where they were doing like a 151 and I think getting close to like the 150 marks. I could be wrong on that. I haven't double checked, but 2 seconds off of a spec Miata, it's like, okay, they probably have a little bit more power. The tires are stickier than the RR, the Falcons are. So I could see that, and they're technically like wider, so they got a little bit more grip. But it is showing like, yo, like this is really, really close. So for me, like I always look at what is the Spec Miata doing, and then I can see like, okay, this is a slow car with good drivers consistently. So yeah, that's what I use as a kind of benchmark.
So I'm trying to look it up right now, and I'm seeing numbers all over the place. It's crazy.
Yeah, VIR's got that long ass straight. Like that's wild to me, because anything in the low teens is quick, because there's a lot of cars that have a lot of power that are not in the low teens, and you're like,
okay, so for perspective, the SCCA Spec Miata record, which they're running Hoosiers, or we're running Hoosiers is a 2:14.4.
See, so you're telling me that a Miata, a TT6 Miata, is beating a SM Miata with an SM driver on Hoosiers? Like
front running Miata guys are as good as fucking IMSA drivers, dude. Like those guys they just don't have the same money.
I beg to differ.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just. I think you can look at it as being like, these are not crappy drivers where the Delta is going to be like, oh, so and so drove it, so there's 4 more seconds into it. Like, it's kind of like an H2. If you look at like a lap record held by Jackie or Baker, you're like, oh, if you put a better driver in there, they're going to drop 4 seconds. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. Like, that's pretty freaking close to what the vehicle can do. Like, we're talking about weather conditions that are going to be the delta there.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that in a TT6 car, I was like, all right, I'm slow. But not only that, you have to time. This is where I think the trickery of time trials and time attack comes in, right? You have to time and place your car on track for the optimal point to be on track with enough clearance front and back, or maybe not. Maybe he had a draft. I don't know, right? Definitely help at VIR, but then also have your tires at the optimal temperature, because like Carlos said, like you're coming out in time trials hot. Basically. So to me, like the whole world has to align for that kind of stuff to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
And the sessions matter so much. There's going to be an optimal session, and if you miss your fucking sweet spot to get it all right on that optimal session, you're not gonna hit your
Everybody
optimal.
Says the morning session out on the East Coast, the morning session's the best because we get hot fast out here.
Tends to be the same out here. Very similar. And then there's other shit like at Laguna Seca with Grid Life, they had drift cars. And man, I could tell you from the jumping in the S2000 in a session prior to the drift cars and after the drift cars, something about the way they laid down the rubber affects the grip that we had. It just changed it. And it was, like I went from driving a car that was pretty on point, like pretty well balanced, to all of a sudden I was dealing with oversteer. Like oversteer on entry that just wasn't there before. Just all around, I lost a little bit of grip, and I knew it when I went on the outlap because the tires are damn near at 100 when you go out, those time attack tires. And I went out, warmed up the car, and I felt it. I said, "Oh, the track has changed.
Yeah,
like, I don't have a chance anymore to make up whatever time we had in mind. It's gone. That's out of the question. That was going to happen in the morning, and we didn't nail it, and that's it. And so, yeah, that's all that shit really matters in time attack, and it's kind of that's the cool thing about wheel-to-wheel racing is that no matter how fucked the track gets, you guys are all fucked. And so it's pretty cool. You guys are all in the shit together.
It doesn't matter if it does matter where you qualify. Okay, let's not be that ridiculous. But when it's time for the trophy, you're all on the equal playing field again. Whereas in time attack, you mess up basically your morning session. There are a few circumstances I've seen the coverage, especially from GLTC, where even an afternoon session in the blazing heat, somebody figures it out, right? But they've likely had to change the setup on their car to do it.
Yeah,
Or what was that car going to do in the morning
Right.
if it was that good?
Right.
exactly.
So, but we've
Exactly.
seen they've
So-
seen track records broken in the afternoon. So, like you said, what
Mhm.
could the track record actually have been if they lined it all up in the morning? Like that.
Yep, that car was probably having drama in the morning, and they got it dialed now, and it was going to win no matter what. But you know, it's going to win with this lap time instead of that lap time.
True that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Have we beat this to
Yeah.
death, or do we need to talk some more?
Okay, I have some
Yeah,
little
let's go.
things to add, at least
Okay.
here in the West Coast. The wheel-to-wheel racing community out here, and the time trial, time attack people, it's for the most
Okay.
part different age group,
Mhm.
and definitely different.
So I bet the
subculture.
wheel-to-wheel guys are like me. We're old, and we want you to get off our lawn.
Mm,
Yeah.
Most of them, yeah.
yeah.
Most of them definitely want you off your lawn. Even
Right.
the young ones want you off their lawn.
Mhm.
And dude, it depends because you run, like for me, I'll jump into a Honda Challenge and then I'll go to run the Porsche Club. They're both wheel
Right.
to wheel. They're so different.
Yeah.
The communities are so different. But there's a lot more hanging out at the time trial, time attack thing. It's a lot more friends and hanging out. And a lot of the people into that shit are people that are into cars and want to go hang out there. So they start tracking to hang out with their friends. They're not
Mhm.
necessarily in it for the racing. They're in
Mhm.
it for the hanging out. It's like a social club out here, like time trialing and time attack. For a lot of people, it's their social
Yeah.
group. It's where they
Yeah.
hang out. It's where their friends are at, and
Mhm.
that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Where the people that race seem to be there to race, like that's their thing. That regardless of the socializing, they're going to.
See,
be
I think we try to blend the two,
So
at least in the Mid-Atlantic Honda Challenge paddock. We try to blend the two.
Mhm.
It doesn't always work out. Not everybody can be friends, and not everybody can be like chummy and buddy. And I get that happens everywhere anyway. But
right.
Mhm.
That's part of growing your class and your sport. And where you guys are seeing out west is being friendly and inclusive and having fun while competing has grown their numbers.
Yeah.
And I think,
Yeah.
go ahead. I think
Another-
all us
Sorry,
old
go ahead.
fogies, me, I'm the gray haired one over here. Well, with the little hair I have left. Yeah, I see you, Jaime. It's fine. You cover it up really well, So
Dude, I think I'm older than you.
get out of here. I'm 45. How old are you?
Oh no,
See?
you're old as fuck.
I win off my lawn.
That was a setup.
I finally
Oh,
beat
man.
Carlos at something,
like-
but it wasn't what I wanted it to be.
I'm like, I think I'm older than Carlos. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's just something we need to learn as a community. It doesn't matter if your time trial group is struggling, look at the community. If your race group is struggling, look at the community, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that I for sure see a lot more with you guys, especially in the Mid Atlantic, and and hats off to Jack Cabetto, like because of him and his success and him being so young. I think that I see a lot more young people there, like in NASA when I was in the events. Like I was one of the younger people there, and then I go to Grid Life, and I'm for sure the oldest, one of the oldest people there for sure. And it really just comes down to where are you reaching your audience, and Grid Life is on Instagram. It's
everywhere.
I don't know if they're on TikTok. I don't have that. Yeah, but they're out there, and it's like people can see and connect to it. Whereas, like here, NASA is more like SCCA in that it's like the super secret car club community, where it's like you kind of have to know people about that community to get into it. It's not that you can't show up to an event like that, but it's definitely a lot less people that are younger are showing up to those events, so it makes it harder.
Yeah, I think the wheel-to-wheel community can learn from the time attack community in that regard, because when I go to wheel-to-wheel races, some of the teams have crews, but not enough, and race cars need a lot of help.
Yeah.
You show up to a time attack, each car has a fucking posse, has a whole crew. All the homies are there helping out, and they're dialing that thing in. Once they're figuring it out, they're dialing that car in. They're all helping. They're all pitching in because they're all fucking cool and friendly and get along.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't know why the wheel-to-wheel community is a little more standoffish.
We have secrets too.
I hate to say it because that's where I come from, but it just is that way.
Yeah. I mean, Khan still won't let me give him a hand when he gets out of his race car. Like, I don't know why. Just won't.
When you said give him a hand, I was like, whoa, where's this going?
It just, right.
Time is dangerous.
I have a certain procedure to get out of my car. It's
Time is weird, dude. Don't let him. Yeah.
The hand.
I'll get in there.
I went to exit my vehicle, and there's a certain way to get my voluptuousness out of my car without taking the steering wheel off and all that other stuff, and not wrecking my belt placement and things like that. So to have a helping hand would just mess that up. And it wasn't me.
It's all right. It's all right.
Dude, he does it to me all the time. So
yeah.
I know people are listening. Jaime is significantly bigger than I am. He's like just much larger than I am. And a couple times I'm like getting out of the car. You know, you're kind of blind with the helmet, and this fucking bear grabs me and pulls me out of the car. Like, it happens to me all the time. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But now I know it's Jaime. Whenever I'm getting grabbed and pulled out of a car, it's Jaime.
Yeah.
But he's now part of your posse, so you should expect it all the time.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's just like, for me, like, I know how much it sucks to get out of a race car. Like, when you're trying to get in there and trying to, like you said, it's a procedure. You have to do it all in order. Unclip your Hans, take the belts off, and then even when you're putting them on, like, I know how sometimes, like, for whatever reason, it's always one of the lap belts. Like, you're trying to get it in, and it's like, man, is it twisted? Is it not twisted? Why is it not clicking in? Like, yeah, it's annoying. It's really annoying. So I try to help. I'm your helpful SoCal Honda guy.
Jaime is the human golden retriever for all of you that haven't had a chance to get to know him.
Yeah,
but that's what his wife calls him, and that's 100% correct. But yeah, I guess the other last thing is that I see, the difference that I see is, you touched on it, Con, the shop versus shop thing. That's real. That's happening out here. It's like the shops compete against the other shops, or even if they don't have a shop, it's just like this group of homeboys wants to
my
compete
posse
against
versus
that
your
group.
posse.
And and so that just breeds a different culture within it, because they're in it to win it, and you know that makes it awesome for me, because if you know it gives me rides, because they want that thing to go as fast as it can. So guys like me and Graham just get called up on, where people that build a wheel-to-wheel car, they're going to drive it. They did all the work, and they're, they're looking forward to driving it. And so that there's nothing there for me for the most part.
Do your shops wear colors or have tattoos? Are we getting into the West Coast gang life now?
Yeah, but they have to be on your temple, like a Mari tattoo.
Yeah,
the Mike Tyson face tattoo. Okay, well, I'm out.
Yeah, if you don't have a face tattoo,
you're not down.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we wear high socks and Cortez.
I mean, I think that we've already talked about Khan's Halloween costume, to have a Raiders jersey, some Dickies ironed on with some
before we
high
get
top,
too down this road.
Khan's gonna be an essay.
Oh no!
Yeah, there we go. We are.
He's gonna be a certified
cultural appropriation stamps all over me and stuff. You guys are gonna get me in trouble.
Well, you have two brown people here literally saying we seen this submission and we will go ahead and approve it. So you have our blessing.
It's recorded, so that's good.
It is recorded. It is legally binding now.
Just don't call me fucking crying when you get pulled over.
All right, guys.
Oh, man.
I think that's going to be a wrap.
All right. Well, thank you, Con, for having us on.
Anytime.
Yeah, man, thanks for having us on.
Anytime. Literally, you guys are welcome whenever. It doesn't matter to me.
Until next time, keep working on yourself, keep working on the car, and let's get faster.